So, like, depending on how things go.
Look at that transition.
Like, he's still alive. There's still, like, a bunch of tiebreaker gibberish. But, like, he knows he has a shot, so, like, he's still not, like, out of it or whatever, you know? Like, sometimes, like, I see a lot of players, like, if they're mathematically eliminated, they'll just kind of, like, autopilot.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Autopilot. Like, I see a lot of people, one of my friends plays a lot worse when he's X2.
Oh, yeah, like I have lost more ratings points being X2 in tournaments than anything else. I'm like, well, like, all right, my sealed deck's so good, I should probably get some ratings points or whatever, right?
And you're just like,
and then you just kick it away to, like, the kid who, you know, the random kid who opened up the bomb deck. And if you just played a little tighter, you would have won, right? Or, like, in Grand Prix, I'll be like, you know, X3. I'm like, I'll play out my last 2 rounds. Like, you know, I feel like I've got a pretty good shot. I might as well get the play test again. And it's just like, you know, you get crushed. Like, it's not even worth it. I ended up 10 ratings points short of the second bye for Grand Prix Atlanta next week, and just like if I just played tighter in any of like the PTQs I was X2 in or any of the Grand Prix I was X2 in, I wouldn't have to worry about it. It'll lock in on Wednesday. I went to a tournament last week to try and pick up the points. Yeah.
How'd that do?
Well, I don't know yet. The problem is that I don't know. Like players I played against don't have very high ratings. I checked it out.
Yeah,
later.
you don't know if
I might have only gotten 9 points.
Oh, sick.
So I might just be 1 point short. But we'll find out. I mean,
I always have the opinion of like, I've considered trying to like queue on rating or whatever, and for various things. And the thing is, if like you just kind of like keep playing until you know you're safe. And if it causes you to play too much and you lose, you probably didn't deserve it anyway. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, there's definitely a point. I mean, I think you were there in Phoenix where I just build like random decks of F&Ms.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I literally could not tell you what my rating is, so I don't care.
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, like, I think that really honed my skills. Like, yeah, it's just F&Ms, but like building these decks and playing these decks can actually teach you a lot. Like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, you built a really early version of the Turbo Land deck, right? Wasn't that just something you like threw together for some random local tournament?
Yeah, like I honed it. Oh crap! I probably just the power chord. But anyway, like yeah, when I built my first version of Turbo Land is beyond embarrassing. Like I wish I saved the list.
What were some of the pits in it?
Overflowing Chalice.
All right.
And I thought the card was awesome because like the first game I played, I'm like turn 2 Chalice for 2, and then I'm like Avenger. I'm like, wow, this deck is awesome. And then like I had 4 Treasure Hunts for too long.
Right. What happened to that card?
Here's the problem. I've thought about a lot of Treasure Hunt. I really want Treasure Hunt to be good.
I was talking about that a little earlier. I love that.
But it gets you early game. You dig for lands.
Okay.
When you can't use the extra cards in your hand.
Okay.
So early game it doesn't dig you to lands, and then late game it just gives you all lands and the one spell or whatever. So like it's fine value. Like you're not unhappy to see it, but like it's not going to. It doesn't. It's the wrong draw spell for any part of the game.
And also, I think the other big thing is spreading seas became a thing too. And that can just give you another turn 2 play.
Another turn 2 play that draws you a card.
It's just better.
Value, yeah. And the value you get from it is much better most of the time.
So anyway, back to the game. We've got Greg Hatch on your right, playing Elves.
Turn 2 Lord.
Yep, and that's a pretty awesome play. You go turn 1 Orin Reef, turn 2 Guy, drag War Speaker or Warcaller. You give it a counter, and now all your other elves get +1/+1, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, one thing that interests me about the elf deck, they have a lot of like random lands, like non-forest lands. And I kind of like that, but a lot of people complain like, you aren't that explosive. Like, if he passes here, like this is, yeah. I bet you have like at least a turn 3 player, like you just don't seem like as explosive.
Yeah. I mean,
when you have like these orneries and tectonic edges.
Yeah.
It gives you good value, but like,
the tectonic edges in particular, like I know why you want them, but really it's so hard on your mana, you know.
If you're just gonna be a mono creature deck, I feel like there's also like everybody has like all these like it's like that Orin Reef did 1 damage and it came into play tapped.
Right, exactly.
Just to clarify an earlier tweet that you made, Gavin. Apparently, Chapin won that game where the Vengevines were He lost the match, but won that game where the two.
He won the
Vengevine-
game where his
Okay.
Oh, I thought you said he lost
discarded-
that match.
Okay. He lost the match, but he won that game where the double Vengevines were dropped.
The NFC Championship game. The Green Bay Packers
Wow.
lead the Atlanta Falcons 48-21.
48 to
1 minute and
21.
57 seconds remaining. That means that it was the
So that's insane. I really hope the Seahawks that they'll just be like a way worse version of the 2008 Cardinals.
You're living vicariously.
Yeah, I'm really living vicariously through the Seahawks right now.
The Seahawks still have to beat the Bears tomorrow
Yeah,
to host that
completely
game, but
The Bears are like the 2008 version of the Carolina Panthers. Like, Jay Cutler's going to throw 6 picks and ruin his career tomorrow.
yeah.
This is happening.
I mean, the thing about football.
Yeah, whatever.
The thing about football is they're just one-game matches, right? So, like,
Yeah.
you know, you just have a bad day, something swings, you get one good break, and
Speaking of one-game matches,
Yeah, exactly.
we're in
We're
game
in
3
game
of this
3.
match, so
And-
this has now become a one-game match.
yeah, well, or it hasn't always been it, but
No,
since we
but
picked
at
it
this
up,
point, it
And
is,
for those
yeah.
of you just joining us, this is Gavin Verhey, and I'm here with Joey Pasco and Adam Prozac, who's locked up his top 8 for this tournament, and we're watching a match between Greg Hatch and Ryan Allsup here at the Star City Games Open Series in San Jose. Greg Hatch is playing Elves, but he doesn't seem to have a lot of action in this game. He started off fast and has kind of slowed down. Ryan Allsup is playing an interesting blue-white control deck that has Squadron Hawk and Stoneforge music to find equipment for your Squadron Hawk.
And one copy of Wormcoil Engine.
Yeah, so
So,
he's got some different
If I need
options
it,
than
I'll use
Kibler.
it. If not,
Yeah,
oh
just
well.
a slightly rogue version of blue-white.
And the winner is likely in top 8 of this tournament, or potentially. So the Vengevine comes down, knocks down that.
Takes out the
that
Jace, what those haste creatures are good at.
Yeah, I mean, Vengevine hasn't been played a lot
Did
lately.
the blue I played, they bounced Vengevine, correct?
Yes. Then he put it back down and killed the
This
Jace.
has got to be the biggest beat of all time. I have no idea how an elf player beats an elf player. This is why I don't play like random like.
There we go with the bicycle cards. Just like I said, no
Really
die,
good,
just grab
like,
some
really-
bicycle cards. Nice soldiers.
Single focus beatdown decks.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
just like if your opponent plays like a good card, you're just
basically exactly like that.
Elspeth, 3 chump blockers, eh?
Yeah, Brian Kibler was saying earlier that like one of the big changes in Standard is the lack of Elspeth Knight Errant really removes a lot of the reach from the beatdown decks. 'Cause, like when someone does something like that, you
Absolutely.
can't be like, you know, Elspeth, give my guy flying, attack you. And speaking of Brian Kibler, he is standing just outside the booth right now.
But he's,
Hi.
So this is a question for. I got a question for all you finance experts. You know, you John Medina wannabes. What do you think about the price of Elspeth after this weekend? After we've been seeing it perform so well, you know, in the hands of Brian Kibler.
I don't know if one
here
tournament
it is.
ever does anything like.
I don't know.
like every once in a while, but
it was you know, it's kind of.
if there were 4 Brian Kiblers,
I totally wish I'd bought Gideon's on Moto before I went undefeated day one at World Chicago, because they really went up quite a bit. So, I mean,
awesome. I think I had some when I just sold my account recently.
oh really?
Haven't logged on in like 7 months.
So you don't hate pants anymore?
No, but I mean, yeah, I'm still high advanced.
But got rid of all your cards.
Yeah, there's just nothing on it. Still my account.
But yeah, I'd like to get John Medina's opinion on that. Maybe he'll tweet at us what he thinks about Elspeth's stock.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much higher Elspeth will go now, but the things are starting to break out. We've seen it in Kibler's deck this weekend. We see it again here. It's really starting to make some waves.
Well, all
and-
the blue-eyed decks should absolutely be playing it.
right, exactly. And I think the more we see it sees play, the higher it'll go.
It might be one of those things that it's a reaction to, like, for example, I don't think Elspeth is a power player in the format if Vampires is not a deck.
Sure. Well, it's definitely, I mean, the reason that I put Elspeth in the deck at Worlds was because of Vampires.
Yeah.
And it also turned out that it was good against other decks too. Like I hadn't really anticipated how good it would be.
It's definitely powerful as a card.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it requires a lot to get to get it working. But I feel like the Kago Kago skeleton has like basically everything it needs to make that card like incredible card.
Right.
And meanwhile, now we've got Gideon on board, so things
Yeah,
are
it's just-
looking really good for the blue-white
It's looking
side.
like Monument or Buckfish. I'm gonna guess he has a Monument, just because he's played so few cards.
I mean, I'm looking at what's
Like,
in.
he actually has cards in his hand. Like,
Yeah.
what could they possibly
I think I
be?
see. Is that another Elvish Archdruid right there?
It does look like an archer.
Yeah, that's what I think it is too.
I'll take it before. I am the worst at guessing these. Every time I try and figure out what the cards are in hand, I'm wrong.
Oh man.
So, word from John Medina himself. He says he thinks Gideon has more to gain than Elspeth, but Gideon has already seen some of a.
But Gideon was like infinite when
Gideon went.
Gideon
it
was once
like
more
50.
than Vengeance.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gideon was 50 when it first came out, when like the Super Friends Planeswalker deck
Right,
exploded. And then it dropped a bit when it became like a one of.
He's all in.
Some decks.
He's all in on random dudes.
All in on random dudes. Yeah, it dropped quite a bit and then started rising back up. So I don't know the price right now on Gideon, but I feel like he's roughly 30 now, or something like, or 25.
You could probably get him for about 20.
Yeah. But I just feel like people were discounting Elspeth for so long that maybe.
Gideon was like 12 before Worlds. Went to like 20 something on Moto after.
Oh, Drew J of Judgment. And that's Perms, boys.
That's a
And that
tournament.
is.
He plays it like it's another Planeswalker, just right alongside the other two.
I mean, might as well be.
Right.
Can't beat that. Can't beat the Planeswalkers either.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if how he was going to beat that Gideon plus Elspeth in the first
Gideon
place.
Elspeth is just so gross. Like, you have so much time to make 3.
Yeah.
And imagine if he, I mean, I guess if that's a Sunblast Angel, he's not going to be able to do anything. But imagine if he got to cast a Sunblast Angel. He's another one, another dance.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
scoop it up.
he peeled the second one. How nice.
Just
He peeled
returns.
back up.
What I would do is I would actually, when I drew it, I'm just like, as if I didn't have it otherwise.
Yeah.
So,
Put my phone in.
so Ryan Allsup takes that match, and that puts him in top 8. Is that?
I don't know what his
I believe-
record was.
I don't
I don't know
know,
if he was X2.